Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I got a lot of stuff to show you. Let me share my screen. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Miguel, everybody hears me okay? Fumihiro, everything is good? Everybody's there? Okay. All right. I have a new indicator that I'm testing out here right now that I wanted to show you. This is off of some of the stuff that I showed you yesterday. Let me I kind of have to set up my screen. Just one second. Where's my combo 2, and I gotta no. Okay, so I got this, and I have to modify this a little bit. Sort of, let's just do this. Okay. All right, it's a little crazy and super busy. Because and we obviously have a lot of volatility coming off of what's going on over here. But can you guys, everybody see the screen? So, first order of business is obviously we've had a very bad CPI number that took equities way down. They kind of bounced back around. We have the opening price action here. The overall trend is still negative. And remember yesterday I was saying to you how we were fooling around with the idea of and actually let me I'm gonna put this on. It's gonna look very busy, but it's gonna give you an idea of everything that I wanted to show you here. Okay. So there are sort of two really interesting indicators that I've laid down on the chart. I've gotten rid of all of our breakout stuff. The first component is buying against trend. So we have negative trend, then we have 4 consecutive lows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 lows. Then we're buying. We buy the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is, sorry. This one needs to be fixed. Daniel has to fix this one. The fade one actually starts from 0, so that has to be on 3. It's really annoying. Sorry. Okay. So there's this idea of 4 consecutive lower lows give us an entry, against the trend. We get long over here, super easy, 5 plus 5 minus 10, right? Everybody is with me on that. Let me just sort of kind of delete the trend fade on this, just so everybody sees the fade idea, right? The fade idea is I'm just buying lows in an uptrend. I'm selling the highs in an uptrend. So buying the lows in a downtrend, selling the highs in an uptrend, right? And obviously, in very flat markets, that are slowly trending up, this is not going to work. But in big spike markets, high volatility, this works really well because you kind of just buy the intermediate term low, pop it up. In almost every one of these instances, this actually makes 5 points for us on a trade. In a very good fashion, right? Everybody's super clear with that, right? So that's sort of like the fade indicator, right? You guys all with me on that? And so let me get rid of the fade indicator now and go to the trend fade indicator, because this is where I have this super interesting idea of extending the what the hell, trend fade. Okay. Of extending the move. Sorry, let me do this. It's got to be. Sorry. Okay. So imagine we are in a negative sell mode, right? And then we say to ourselves, well, if this thing works kind of like, buying the lows, wouldn't it work really well with trend? Meaning, if you get 3 consecutive higher highs, high, high, high. You guys with me, right? What if I sold right over here? What if I sold off the trend fade? Wouldn't that be an interesting possibility for a big move? And a lot of times it's a super good sell, especially usually the first or the second move, in trend. So we're basically selling the retrace in trend, but in a very quantitative way, in a highly quantitative way. So third, selling over here, this works. This works mildly. It's a highly volatile market, so it's super. Like this is literally 20 points. If you sold this at 74, you notice, by the way, you sold it at 74, it goes up like 77, it drops to like 62. In every one of these instances, I mean, the exception I think maybe this one, where this just spiked out to like a super high spike before it came back down. All of these trades work. Just like if you were just sort of trading it with a 5-10 winner, loser, winner. So 4 winners out of 5 in your favor. And by the way, this is also a winner because you're in a red zone. This sell over here dips below before it comes back up. So it's like 5 out of 6 winners. So 25 points for, 10 points against. Super easy structure for the idea. It works the exact same way to the upside, which is where it really shines. Where you get the 3 lower lows, 1, 2, 3, right? You get low, low, lower. You buy over here for +5. You get low, lower, lower. You see the lows with me? Lower, lower, lower. You buy here, slips a little bit against you, but still very good for a +5. And obviously, this is before CPI. You'd never be stupid enough to want to trade before CPI. But you get the idea. So you have like the ability to kind of fade the trend, or you have just the pure ability to just buy bottoms, sell tops. 2 indicators using the same kind of logic against our chart, which is kind of really interesting, right? And I wanted to explore that with you guys a little bit as an idea. Now, in the meantime, I can lay down. Let me just see. I've taken the combo. Oh no, I have the combo alerts on, but I don't have the trend break on because it was just super busy to show this. But let's just show this. And we want it at 1. We want it to be at the 1 break. So this would be okay. Okay. So, we have a strong break over here, but it's a little bit of a lower low, right? This is not a high quality trade that I want to trade. And what I would much rather trade is if this is a decent trend. This is a decent trend, right? As long as prices don't close below the green zone. What I'd rather do is buy the trend fade. We'll see if the trend fade shows up for us, because what we're looking for is 3 lower lows. I'd rather buy that and see if that works for a 5-10 on the move. And we'll watch this for a minute or two, see if the setup materializes. So far we've got 2 lows. We're going to need a third one to materialize for us to create a trend fade in a positive direction, like a green dip. We should actually call it trend dip and trend. I guess I can't change the name, so it'd have to be trend. Or maybe I could change it actually. Trend retrace, trend dip. So this is just candle number 2. In this candle number 3, you see it's showing up a trend fade, right? So this is kind of dipping into the green zone. I really like to have it stay within there. This is a very volatile market. Would I want to pull the trigger on this? Depending on how this candle, if this candle closes a little bit closer to the head, maybe I'll pull the trigger on it. Because of the volatility of the market, and it's not a great retrace, but maybe worth a shot. I mean, like we'll give it a shot. We've got 26, 27 seconds. The idea here is you need to wait till the candle closes, because you have no idea how far this can fall. As you can see, it can really fall hard. You don't want to be buying mid candle, but it does recover quite nicely. So we'll have to, we'll have to see. It's really, really volatile. You can see the markets just all over the place. So 2, 1. All right, we're buying 61s. And we got 66s, really, 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 really fast 67s. And that was 5, and you see that, you see how it's super, super fast. Markets are super, super jerky here. Hard, kind of hard traded. Maybe it will recover all the way up to the 80s. But I would. This is not a trade that you want to stay in. It either pops or it doesn't pop. Let it go. And if you're trading CFDs, obviously in this kind of environment, unless you're willing to trade with a 20-10, meaning like you bought the 61s, you have a 41 stop and a 71 target. You just want to give yourself a lot of breathing room. I wouldn't trade it just because the volatility here is so much that the CFDs. Although if you trade it for a full 10, you certainly have a chance here. We're almost at 71. We tested it, but you guys get the idea, right? You get the idea how like this is a superior way to enter an inferior trade, where the trade, the breakout was not a high quality breakout. It really wasn't structuring in a higher higher lows way, but we came in at the best possible way to make it happen. Everybody's seeing what I'm showing you here, guys? Somebody give me a yes. Somebody give me a yes. There is a wow.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, like you see the pop now? There we go. There's the pop. So if you traded CFDs, the pop is good. I'm watching my AMPs is a faster feed. Like there's the trade view feed is just kind of really slow because I think it's so much volatility. It's only sampling every 5-10 seconds, so it's lagging a little bit. I think now we're in sync. Let me see, 78, 81. Yeah, now we're in sync. But you guys seeing the pop, right? Look how nice a pop this is. Like if you traded this for 10-20, I mean, I'm not going to count it as a 10-20 trade because I wasn't showing it to you. But anybody trade this on a CFD basis? Anybody had the balls to hold it for for 20-point stop? Karen did. I know. Karen's got the biggest balls of all. And I say that in the most too busy trading to talk. Okay, that's good for you. Did you take my trade, Karen? I know, Connie. That was like stepping into the abyss. But it definitely shows you the principle in action. Yeah, it was super, super fast. I know. It was super, super fast. But the point is, I'm going to be able to post up these indicators for you guys. I made two different indicators because it's just easier. For example, if all you want to do is trade the trend fade structure, not the fade structure, it's just easier to do it this way, like you have the flexibility of just because otherwise the chart gets super busy with lots and lots of different ideas. I've actually been trading this stop. I mean, the fade move does work, like going against trend definitely works a lot of times, but fading within trend, buying dips or selling rallies in a retrace or sort of retrace fade and dip fade is really, really attractive. I mean, it works super well, in just the best possible manner. I think I literally think I had like 19 out of 20. But I mean, I'm really scalping really, really hard. I mean, I'm scalping for 2 or 3 points, but I had like 19 out of 20 winners with a 10 stop. So that was a pretty good morning, just using the structure. And that was, really just almost eyeballing most of the stuff, just simply because Daniel didn't make this for me until just a couple of minutes ago. Let's take a look at, there was, so let me tell you what else is going on here. Just on a pure breakout basis, I have pound yen doing something. Yeah. So this is pound yen over here. It's what's and it already TP'd for me. Sorry, it was a couple of minutes ago. That was a 5 point. So it's a 1 minute chart on a pure, straight up, clean structure. By the way, I finally have the final version of MT4, not MT5, but MT4 of our perfect trend setup. Where higher high reds, higher high strong breaks, that kind of stuff. Look at the pound yen just rock. This thing just really rock and rolling. That's working really well, and I'm digging that setup. So hopefully that's going to work for us. Let's take a look at the Dow. So the other thing is, you can see in the Dow, for example, again, with the Dow, you really don't need much. It's a 20-10 structure. You got short here at 54s. It goes against 67. It comes all the way down to like 39. You had your move over here. Now we're moving fully into positive zone, possibly. So we may be looking for dip trades. As a matter of fact, we can come back to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is now in positive zone, right? So we had the first dip trade. Let's see if we can get a second dip trade in Nasdaq. Nasdaq is curling up into a more decent trade. And I wonder, just for fun, I'm really not gonna try and trade the fade move, but let's do the fade move here, just for fun. I'll put it's gonna have a lot. We're gonna have a lot of indicators on the chart, but it's fun to watch it. Not showing up anything on NAS. And the thing, by the way, is obviously going to understand that once the count fails, it starts again, right? The whole essence of our setup is it's got to be 4 consecutive. Otherwise, we go right back to 0 and start recounting. That's what makes this a pretty good entry structure, because we don't. Is that bearish? Bearish on your chart, Karen? NAS is, yeah. I mean, like longer term, I'm sure it's bearish, but on the 1 minute chart right now, it's a positive structure. Looking to go higher. See what the Dow is doing. Dow continues to kind of fail. And you can see that even on like pound, right? It's interesting how you could trade. So here's the fade signal. The pound is like, to me, a perfect pair for this, because the pound always does the opposite of what you want it to do, right? Like if it's selling hard, it usually means it's going to bounce. If it's rallying hard, it usually means it's gonna sell off. So like if you bought the fade over here for a 5-point pop, you got it. If you faded the 3-point move over here for a 5-point pop, you got it. Now we have a slight sliver of a positive trend here, and we're getting a now that the trend disappeared. So let me see. Still, it depends on how deep the price goes, because if the price, that's actually interesting. Let's play the pound right now. Let's see if the pound does us any good. Okay, 22s, looking to sell 27s. Let's see if it can hold. I'm not so sure here, but let's see if if the pound sells 27s. This is a very, very tepid little green move, so doesn't give me a lot of confidence that this thing is going to hold it. It may just this may just simply pop down to the 12s, and the pound may not work. You want the best kind of trend fade moves are ones that stay within the zone, right? You see how the best one is the one that stays like above the green zone, or above the the red inside the red zone. This has already broken the green zone, meaning that really the trend is much more negative than it is positive. There's very little here that makes you want to be positive, the pound. So I'll leave this alone for the time being. We'll see how it goes. Let me just actually see what euro yen is doing, pound yen is doing. You know, pound yen has a little bit more constructive trend fade right over here. So let's say we're long 25s. Again, same idea, trying to hit the 30s with a 15 stop. It's basically a double long pound trade, but we'll give it a shot just for fun. Let's see if that works. So that's got to hit. It's got to hit 30 for me to run. And then what do I want? I want to look at CAD. Okay, not really. I don't want to do anything in CAD. CAD is very, very tight range right now. So nothing here that I really want to do. Let's go back to. Oh, look at it. We missed, you know, the YM had a fade move, right? But now this is where I kind of like trading the Dow. So we're going to watch this to the close of this structure, right? Oh, by the way, pound hit our target. It went to 30, right? And the pound dollar is at 25. We'll just come out of that at flat even. So +5 on pound yen, flat on pound dollar, and we still got 30 seconds on this particular candle. Let's see if the trend fade in the Dow works. This is a 2010 trade. In other words, you know, one of the things I don't like when this shows up is actually where, you know, like the third candle turns red, because you know what you want to do is you want to sell at the highs, not at the lows. But you know, this being red sometimes actually suggests that there really is very, very little weakness. So we're going to watch this. We're going to sell it at 93 and see if we can get 83 out of it. And we got 83, you know, let's say 84. So, you know, not a perfect setup, because, you know, I mean, it was good, but it was just selling it really, really hard, and you have to be super fast on this thing. But you get the idea that selling the third high into the, into the rally against trend, not a bad high probability trade, right? So you guys, you guys get the idea. It would have been much better if I could have shorted from here, because I would have had a lot more room for it to fall. That's why I was super fast and just like, hey, in and out. Let's just take the moves. The thing about these moves, I will say this: you definitely want to use the tool. You don't want to. This is not, all these scalp moves on a 1 minute chart. These are not, for the faint heart. You definitely want to use the tools. You would definitely want to preset your stops and targets. Just press the button, and you want to have tight targets. 5, 10 points on the Dow, 5 on the NASDAQ, 5 on the 1 minute currency charts. Currencies are probably the slowest of all of them in terms of movement. But you get the idea, right? You guys get the idea. The point is, it just opens up so many more trade ideas for you. Like if you just wanted to scalp 10, 20 times, 5 pips at a time in a nice, clean, orderly fashion, you have all the time in the world. And here, if you are patient enough, it just totally collapses in your favor. Anybody take this Dow trade, or are you guys just watching me because it's all super fast on the charts today? No. All right. Let's see what the NASDAQ is doing. Okay, so NASDAQ is interesting. NASDAQ is kind of setting up a trend fade. We got 43 seconds here. 40 seconds here. 37. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can. Again, I don't like the fact that it's underneath the green zone, but it's coming back into it. So let's see if where it sets up. It's you can see it's just sort of very, very spiky trade today because prices are all over the place. Let's see where we're at. All right, let's take 82s. And we're looking for 87. Let's see if we can get 87. Maybe not. Very, very fast markets, but let's see if we can get 87. Wow, man, it's just such a spiky little thing. It's hard to trade. On the futures, I could have traded this, but on the there we go. There's 87. So there's another 5 points on that. But super fast, super fast. I think that if you're trading CFDs, you got to trade this for like 10, 20, which means that you take 82, you'd be 62 stop, like kind of 92 target or somewhere around that area, just because there's so much variance and slippage all over the place. Guys, I gotta step away for just 1 second. Go find my dog, and I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have a crazy little Pomeranian likes to run around outside the yard, and I just need to make sure that he was inside the house. All right. So it looks like this trend fade was just really, really good for just a tiny bit. And again, why was it kind of not a good looking one? Because it was underneath the green cloud. It was already showing you a lot of weakness, right? So whatever short trade you had here was good. And these are sort of the things that I picked up as I was fast trading a lot of these moves into the night last night. Let's see what we got on the was another trend fade in a Dow right over here that would have worked for us as well. All right, let's watch the Dow a little bit. Maybe Dow is kind of a little calmer for us. Let's see if we can get anything going over here. Dow is actually, so we have 1, 2, 3. Next candle lower would set us up for a fade move, for just a pure, bottom dip move. But we need to see lower lows here. Let's see if that happens. Oh, bonds are getting worse, man. Bond yields are really starting to pick up a little bit. People are definitely starting to price in inflationary pressures more than they were before. It's interesting. I got 7 seconds, so unlikely that this is going to be a sequence that's going to set up. So it means we're going to have to the sequence is going to reset back to 0 and start the count at 0. So we'll see if anything else goes on here. What's on the Nasdaq side? Nasdaq now turns negative. This is interesting. So this is it's a higher green. The strong break here is just a little bit above. All of this stuff, like not a perfect sell signal. Again, I'd rather, even though this may work, I'd rather pass up on this break signal because it doesn't line up perfectly for us, and sell the trend fade rally. Rather than continuation. Although it may continue to the downside here. It's definitely feasible here. This was the CPI lows right over here, so 89. So that's interesting. So we're pretty close to the CPI lows here. And if we get one more, excuse me, if we get one more candle to the downside, so that would be one. The negative trend starts from this count, right? 1, 2, 3. Another fresh low here would give us a fade trade. Well, we need we need to see lower lows here. That means it would need to break 25.50, and it does. Unless I'm miscounting, I don't know why this is not showing up as a trend fade, as a fade move. Am I miscounting? Is this the first? Huh. 0, 1, 2. Oh, yes. This needs to be on 3 because this is all messed up. Okay, so this is a fade move. Yeah. Okay, so this 2 minutes, boom, long at 31. Let's see if that works. Maybe not. Nope. So that didn't work. Too much downward pressure, and it's probably kind of buying the falling knife move. So let that go. We'll restart the count. If we get another 4 consecutive lows after this fade move, then that's obviously going to present another opportunity for us to get long. If we start rallying, then we look for 3 highs into this move. So that was the first stop out that we had of day today. And if you're trading with a 20 stop, you actually could have survived this, and see, and it just the vol. Look at that, and with a 10-20 stop, you would have survived this because it was just I just think it's just really tough to trade in such volatile conditions on a 5-10 today, but that certainly worked. I don't know. Did anybody trade this, or anybody trade this on a 10-20 stop? Yeah, it's a lot. I don't blame you guys. A lot of volatility. Oh, you sold it. You followed the strong break to the downside. Good for you. Yeah, I mean that was definitely a decent trade. I didn't love it because it wasn't it wasn't fully aligned with my my perfect setup. So this is interesting. So now let's get this is where it gets interesting for the trend break, right? So if this candle goes break takes out the high, which is I think like around 41, 42. Yeah, there we go. There's a trend fade. So 30 seconds left. Let's see where we're at on this thing. Really big short squeeze here. Ooh, look at that. Really big move. 16, 17, 15 seconds left. Let's see how we close out. Wow, Jesus, this is volatile. I give it a shot at 45. Let's see if we can get anything out of it. And we get the 5. Okay. So you see the trend fade is definitely the good trade to do in terms of higher probability. So okay, onward and upward. Let's see what the Dow is doing. I have a trend fade in the Dow, but we're a little bit late to the party. We could try to take this down to. Do I really want to take? Okay, we'll take it at 80. Let's see if it works. But it's probably a dumbass idea because it already made the money. It already traded down. Yeah, not a good idea. I don't want to take this. I'm out. Okay, that's not a trade I want to do. You see how if you'd entered over here, you had so much, you had like 30 points of profit. But you got to. This is the other thing about these setups. You either do them at the moment they happen, or you don't do them at all. And obviously, once we create the algo for it, it's going to be just a lot easier to do that. So this is interesting. I'm just watching. We'll see how the price action happens. So you got if you may have another trend fade signal after this one because you would have 3 consecutive highs. Remember that sort of the longer in trend that you go, the weaker, the first couple of signals in trend, a couple of fade signals in trend are just so much stronger than the last couple, because by very definition, trends start to kind of peter out, right? And they start to lose their potency. You're naturally going to get some kind of a slowdown and some support, wave support before before they go. So at 36 seconds, maybe this is going to push up higher. Let's see. It's got a clear 402 in order for us to create a trend fade idea. But you see how on a 1 minute chart, there's just so many, within it makes our live trading a lot more. Now it's you know what, Karen, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to make it a private indicator. I'm going to make these 2 private indicators for now, and just put them on a link, and that way that's a good idea. I think I will do that. Okay, wait, sorry. So this didn't go. Sorry, I missed it. So this did not break the high, so we don't have a trend breakout. Move on it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, maybe I'll do that, and I'll just I'll share with you guys that way. Because I don't really want to publish it just yet, because there's a lot of work to be done still. So this was the fade move that we had here that tapped me out a little bit. This is the trend fade move that worked for us. And now we're just sort of very quiet, turning around, trying to, to base. One of the cool things you can see, what I love about this sort of a 3 indicator structure is you can see how one flows into the other and then flows into the combo, right? Like how sort of the fades flow into trend phase and then flow into breakouts and sort of, turn of trend ideas or trend continuation ideas. Because you really, you feel the price action almost every 5 minutes on this in a very descriptive manner, right? And I think it's kind of very cool that way. So I just got on my algo, just to show you, where's my thing? Where is this? Okay, euro dollar long 23s, euro yen long 23s, sorry. Looking for like 28, 29, off of a higher break trade, higher, 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 higher. Let's see if let's see if that works for us as we move along. Meantime, let's go back to NASDAQ is starting to come in a little bit. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that this was how is this a fade? Oh, because these are all tiny, tiny, tiny little lower lows. And again, you have to reserve some judgment. You can't be blind on these things. Like I certainly wouldn't have done that because it's not, this is not a deep, deep, deep trade away from the moving average. The only time I really want to buy the fades is when they're in the white zone, where they're so deep in the white zone. So like if I have another count here, like a second, fade move somewhere around here because it's totally in the white zone, because it looks like they're going to try and test the CPI lows here, right? So we'll see. We'll see if where they're going to work it. So I think if you start this count, this ends, this goes to zero. So it means 1, 2. We need 2 more candles with 2 more lower lows for us to consider a good fade trade. So I think if the next candle after this one makes fresh lows, then that would be a fade candle. Okay, doesn't make fresh lows. I mean, we just clearly this was the bounce, but we'll see. We got like 51 seconds. This may still break fresh lows. If it doesn't, then we start looking for a sell trade possibly the other way, unless the candle goes through the red zone. If the candle just runs through the red zone, that means we're pretty much done on the downtrend here. Are you guys digging the indicators? You like how they look? So unfortunately, no count over here. Either way, like we don't have any lower lows because we start with a zero count now again. And the higher highs, this candle would really have to run through this level, through the 37s, for us to short it. Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, Connie. Is it definitely gives us a lot more chances to trade, which is what I kind of like about it. So now we need 2 more candles of fresh lows for us to find a fade move. It does feel like they really are trying to just flush the stops at the CPI level, right? I mean, they're really pressing it. It'll be interesting to see. So that's the third candle low. Now we need a fourth candle low. We may not get it just because they may want to just double bottom it here. We'll see. And this has to break the 103s. Maybe to test 100. Yeah, maybe they're gonna try and test 100. Not breaking. All right, now we start the count all over again because again, just didn't quite make it to the bottom there. Ooh, TradingView just froze. Wow, it's lagging. The market, the NAS is actually up like a 315. Wow, this is really lagging here. Holy cow, man! Finally catching up. Well, man, there's a lot of lag on TradingView today. All right, so they didn't quite make it, unfortunately. That would have been a good dip. We just have to be patient for our setups. The high of this candle is 1875. We're going to break that to the upside. Okay, so that breaks it up. I guess that's creating a trend fade over here. That's interesting. Oh, because this is 1, 2, 3. I guess this whole sequence. All right, let's give this a shot. Let's see if this works. It's just super volatile, man. Oh, I don't know if the 510 is going to work, but we'll give it a shot. In at 21, looking for 16, and we're almost there. I'm gonna take it here. I don't like the price action. So I took it at like 17. So +4. I'll count it that way. But it's just super fast. We're selling the bottoms here, which is, remember, this is like the third or the fourth trend fade into this move, or second trend fade into this move, into a very, very deep move. So I'm not I'm cautious on this move. It's still, it dipped enough to just make you mildly positive, but it looks like it just ready, like it tested the bottom. The great trade would have been the fade trade. It just did not give it to us, and that's why I got out of it, because it was just so so ready, and ripe and ready for a big burst higher. So, we were in the right zone on the fade. It just didn't quite, just barely missed the structure for us, and we didn't, we didn't press the trade. And now it's just basically going to consolidate, and if it turns back to positive, then we have to try to trade the positive side of the market as it goes. I'm looking at the trend fade here in down. Is it worth it? Might be worth it. Let's give it a shot. Let's just see. We got 24, 25 seconds. Let's see if it's worth taking a. See if you can get it. It's a pretty decent position because you're high up on the scale. Although you're completely on the outside of the red zone, so you're really far away. But let's give it a shot. So in at 18, looking to see if we can get 8 out of it. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's be a little patient here. No, not working, but I'm going to take it out at 21 here. Just cover it short. It may fall down, but remember I was looking for a quick retrace here. We covered the red zone. We're now in the green zone. It could still come down, but there's no point in just risking that full 20 points here on the move. So I'll take my tiny 3-point move here. It may actually come in if you're patient enough to wait this trade. It may come in, but I'm not going to fool around with it. It looks like we're turning positive on the move, and now the trade is to the upside. Let me just see if the trade in NAS is also the NAS hasn't fully covered the upside yet. But it definitely looks like this is the CPI sell-off. We're kind of done, right? It definitely feels like it's setting up for a move back up to the upside. Which now, by the way, so my favorite strategy in this particular structure would be to buy the dip. So we're positive. We get 3 negative lows. Here's 1, 2. We're gonna get a third candle to the low, to the downside. By the way, I guess it would have worked. I mean, I just wimped out on the move. If you held all the way, yeah, Connie got 4 pips out of it. If you held it, it actually went all the way down to plus 10. I didn't like to be in that position so far down. But the next candle, if it's a lower low, gives us a chance to buy the Dow in a dip formation. What do you guys, while we're watching this, what should we call these labels that make the most sense to you guys? This is this came in literally to match us. Let's see if this, oh no, now it creates a trend fade. Okay. I was like, just came in just to match us. Okay, let's watch this a little bit. We got 15 seconds. It's definitely falling. Wow, geez, look at how is it? Look how fast these markets are. It's so fast. Okay, in at 01, may not be able to get it, but like I'm in at 01, stop would be 81, target is 11. Let's see if we can get it. Nope, just dip me out. All right, so my last experiments with this kind of faded us out. I got clipped on the Dow, which pretty much wipes out my profits on the Dow for the rest, for the front of the day. The Nasdaq I'm still positive on for like 10 points. And we're going right back down. I mean, the market just does not really want to rally just yet. But to me, this is actually a pretty good sign that we're close to a foundation. This is like the last of the sellers. Last of the sellers. I'm actually watching this candle. I kind of feel like this is going to be like if I was just simply specking right now without any of our structures. If this candle, nah, it's not looking good. I'd be long here at 31s, just for like, let's see if we can get 41 out of it. There we go. And the only reason I took that trade was because this is the fade candle over here. We had a little bit more of selling, and it kind of just simply stabilized. It was just good enough to give us like another 10 points. So NAS was generally, by the way, my favorite index to trade this, sort of my favorite instrument trade this is the Nasdaq. Not too much. Like, I mean, you can go crazy with the trend fades and the fades in this move. You're gonna get clipped if you do too much of it. But if you're coming in at the beginning of the trend with the proper structures both up and down, the first 2 or 3 signals within trend are usually very, very good. The key thing is just don't want to make it too busy on the move. Where's the Dow? Let's just take a look at the Dow here. Dow is now doing a strong break, and that's actually, I just missed this, but that's a legitimate clean trade for us. That would have been, we got a short at 49. Let's say we short 41, and boom, and it's another 10, 20 points. This is a clean, legitimate trade. If we want to go the other way, let's just see, let's see. So plus 10 on the Dow, so it puts me back to plus 10 on the Dow. Big fade move here. Let's see if that holds. Got 33, 34 seconds. A lot of volatility. Jesus, a lot of volatility. But let's just see if like I'd be a buyer here on whatever the close of this candle is. That's a pretty deep extension to the downside. Yeah, and that would, let's see if this Dow 18, 19. Man, this trading view is just so sloppy right now. All right, in at 35. Let's see if we can get 45. And 43, good enough. I'll take that as my last hurrah. Super fast markets again. So 8 on that. Okay, that puts me back to like plus 15 on the Dow for the day. The Nasdaq is like a plus 15 also. Then I'm still floating this euro yen, which is going nowhere. And then we had another plus 5 on pound yen if you guys were were playing that. But the thing about this is that there's just enormous amount of trades, right? Enormous amount of trades really gives you so many more opportunities to kind of trade. Yeah, you're up for the day, Karen. Good, it's super. It gives you so many opportunities to trade. The thing about this particular way of trading is do not, under any circumstances, try to fix your losers. Just like if the loser happens, just let it go on to the next one. There's literally 4 or 5 trades in the next 10 minutes that you can consider. These are all fast. This is a 1-minute chart, so they're all going to be super fast resolution trades, especially on indices, right? You don't want to be obsessed over like one particular trade that that was bothering you, because you literally have to just shake it off. Even if it's 2 or 3 in a row losers, you can make it back in the next hour. So this is interesting, by the way. So I'm watching this because obviously the Dow is starting to really unwind hard here, and we have this this fade. Now it's going to start counting again from 1, 2, 3, 4. If we get I'm just going to stay with you guys. We're like a little bit past hours, but I want to stay with you guys to see if we can get one more fade on the Dow. There's 2 possible trades here. There's either we can buy the fade, or if we get a strong retrace rally of 3 consecutive up candles, we certainly can sell that as well. But let's just see what happens here. So now we're in candle 3, made fresh lows. Now we need a candle 4 to make it play. And markets really don't like the inflation numbers. And so far, buyers are just not stepping in here. All right, so we need to make a fresh low on this candle here. Which would suck if it doesn't give it to us, because because it's super oversold. So I might be tempted, even though it's not our setup. It might be tempting just to let it to get long the Dow here if this stays green like this. Yeah, let's get long here at 91. Let's see if we, yeah, there we go. There's 1. There's 3. There is that was a quick 10 points. Again, I know it's super fast because this is just how the markets are right now. It's also, trading view is very gappy. But if you're trading on your CFDs, you obviously seeing the platform reflect those prices. So if you came in 91, you certainly have like 10, 15 points. So that's great. We actually end up like at around 25 plus on the Dow, even though I took some non-traditional trades on the move. We have 25 seconds. This may still be a trend fade over here. Like if the, like in other words, you may want to sell this like once this thing comes up on the close of the candle, but I want to sell the highs. Might be an interesting idea, even though it's so deep into the weeds. We could, it could be moving against us, but it could be worth another quick 10 points if we can get it around here. So if like we're in at 15 right now, can we get like 05? We'll see. Maybe not. Yeah, it was really the fade trade was really the right trade on this thing. This is just, you know, so far sold that unless you're kind of willing to trade this with a much wider stop of like 40-20, you know, it may just come in and clip you out. So I'm gonna just flat it out here at 15. So no harm, no foul. But because if it was gonna dip, it was gonna dip now. But those of you who are more patient than me, you know, you can see if you can if this thing goes against you. The point being is, like, you see, like, there's just so many trades. Like every 4 or 5 minutes, there's a potential trade set up in an intelligent way. Karen says she's trading just 1 hour a day, really helping your P&L. That's really interesting. We should call it the Power Hour. That's what we're going to call it, Karen. We're going to call it the Power Hour with Boris, where all we do is just trade like 10, 15 trades and then just see if we can just go crazy on the pippages. That's a great idea. Like starting next week, we should start doing that. Because, you know, now we got so many great tools. We don't have to just sit around here, do one trade per hour. We have lots and lots of interesting opportunities to explore in all of them, right? Without turning into a drunken monkey. Yep. Okay. So good job, guys. Good day. I think 25 on the Dow, close to 15 on the Nas. You know, whatever I'm floating on the FX side. I'll let you know. I'm actually curious to see how Caddy, if Caddy has any setups. Yeah, so, like, you know, Caddy is always a really interesting fade trade, right? I always like the Caddy fade trade. So this is at 87. That would have come in nicely into the move. The thing that I don't like, you know, and this is where you could get into a lot of trouble with the setup, is especially on a 1 minute chart, you can just be bouncing around back and forth on like a 5 minute range like this, and then you don't really get the pips that you want. So you have to be careful. And generally, you know, like, let's say if we go, I'm just curious to see if I go on the 5 minute chart, look how much. It's less noisy. It's not. It's definitely less noisy. Not so bad. Let me see Euro Yen here. It's definitely less noisy, and definitely, you know, much more viable. I mean, I think the only way, although, and it's only less noisy in directional, you know, environments, right? When we have directional environments, that's when you want to do. Otherwise, you know, the flat European session is just a garbage trove for FX. But anyways, good trading on the indices. The other thing I was going to say to you is, this is a really good example of this. I like this idea to think about this, where, you know, when we have extremes. So you see how, like, the extreme, the first fade barely made it. The second fade was a much better fade. The first trend fade was so deep out of the money, or so deep oversold, that really the trend fade was the second fade trade. This was a nice clean fade, you know, trend fade. And that's something to keep an eye on. You don't necessarily have to trade the first signal in a deeply oversold move. The second signal may be a better signal, both ways. You know, both ways as a structure. Just an idea to keep in mind. But, you know, generally, it looks like we're just mercilessly to the downside. There's like nothing going on over here. You know, the trend fade in NAS would have worked beautifully. We just simply didn't stop it. One of the things that I like to do, by the way, one of the things that I find is that if you just focus on one or two instruments, it's much better. And maybe that's all we're going to do, is just simply focus on the Dow and the NAS, because there are so many trades that your ability to focus and trade something is much better when it's just on a single one instrument, right? That we have here. So why is this turning up to be a fade? 1, 2, 3. Oh no, this particular candle made a fresh low. Okay, so yeah, this actually, let's leave one last thing. I'm just, hey, let's play while we can do it. So we have this candle for 38 seconds. Let's let this thing play itself out. Let's see if it can. Hang on, just one sec. Hang on. So we got 15 seconds, 14 seconds. 6 seconds. 75, 73, really dripping like a stove. Okay, in at 72. Let's see if we can get at least 77, 77, 78, 79. Boom. Right then and there. Right then and there, right then and there, right then and there. Beautiful. So now we're up to like 35 in NASDAQ today, 25 in a Dow, just on very, very timely little plays. All right, guys. Everybody down for the power hour? Everybody have a good time? Okay, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to make these hidden links and post them in the room. Post them in chat. Ask Boris. So all you got to do is just simply click the link and get the indicator. Okay. I don't like these words because they're just too many words. We should just like I'm just trying to figure out like what we should use as words here. Like maybe dip. I don't know. I'll think about it. All right, guys. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see everybody later.